Welcome to Trainer Talk.
We back, baby.
DK.
Matt.
And we are here to answer some more questions. We kind of string these ones together.
Yeah.
The last Trainer Talk, this one, we'll have one more. And we had 14 questions total. And we just got in a rhythm, so we just want to keep going with the rhythm. I also got Chat GPT back, okay, as the third podcaster, the artificial intelligence platform by OpenAI that allows us to fact check each other as we go through this real time, and also allows us to have like a little assistant podcaster here. So what's up, Chat GPT? You guys can download this thing. You guys can use it. I highly recommend using it. Technology is great. It's an extension of who we are, and things are getting better and better and better and better. They're calling this the Google killer, by the way, right? So go play with it. It basically aggregates all of the internet using quantum computing, boom, just like that, and spits you out an answer. You need an essay about the Civil War, it'll write you an essay about the Civil War. If you need to...
Where was this when I was in school?
If you need to, it will also take you through theoretical stories of what the multiverse might look like.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's crazy
Wrap
stuff.
your head around that.
This is what I do at from 10 to 10:30 every night, is I try to find the coolest stuff out there that we can bring into the brand. So you never know. Okay, so what we're gonna do is answer some questions. We're gonna start with Kathy Sikora. Kathy, you ask, why do we do a half to full rep, and why do we also pulse when we're working out? Kathy, I'm gonna give this one right to Matt. Matt, he'll kick it off, and I'll elaborate.
Thank you, Kathy, for this question. This is a great question. So what she's talking about are intensifiers. So these are intensifiers to add to an exercise to obviously make it more intense. And honestly, the big thing about this, and sometimes these are programmed naturally in our programming, but sometimes your trainers add it. And honestly, sometimes what I like to do it for is to take the general fatigue off some people. So we got to look at programming sometimes as a month, right? So if the first 3 weeks, right, you're lifting the heaviest amount of weight for the most amount of reps, and those reps are just straight reps when you're going up and down, right? By that 4th week, your body is probably run down, and that's where you can add an intensifier, because what you're going to do is you're going to lower the amount of weight you use, right? So if you've been squatting 250s on your back for 3 weeks, right, and by that 4th week, squats come up again, and man, I just can't get those same 10 reps that I got those first 3 weeks. What you can do is lower the weight, right? And what you're going to want to do with that lower the weight is add an intensifier to make that exercise intense. So it's really to help with your fatigue. And then that next week, right, is maybe back to those straight reps where you might be able to get 55 pounds for those 10 reps, okay? So those intensifiers are built in to make that exercise more intense, but also to help with the general fatigue that your body just feels lifting weights.
Yeah, it's a progressive overload technique. So my favorite one is one that my strength and conditioning coach did with me when I was with the San Francisco Giants. And what we would do is we would be in a squat rack, and we would have a 6-week program to where we would progressive overload with weights at 10 reps, and we would do 5 sets of 10 reps. And each set of 10 reps, the idea was to get each set heavier, not just to get heavier from week to week. So you go 6 weeks, and by the end, all right, what he was having us do, because what Matt was saying, we were so fatigued out, and hey, we were doing about as much with the weight we were lifting as we were going to do within that rep range. So what he started doing was stopping us, or an isometric pause at the bottom of the lift. So he'd go down, and he'd have us hold a squat, and he'd go 3, 2, 1, fire, and you'd fire up and then come back down. 3, 2, 1, fire up and come back down, right? And what's happening is it's that response to Matt, or to response to your trainer, whoever it is, on up, right? When you're firing on all cylinders on command. And that was my favorite version of what Matt calls it, an intensifier, right? A rep manipulation, if you will, for at the end of when you're almost at the end of maxing out your potential, you throw these things in there, and it just helps you recruit that extra muscle fiber that you need in order to break down and micro tear all the fiber in that one muscle belly that you're trying to reach. So for me, that's my favorite example. And we do that at camp a lot too.
Changes the stimulus for your body, right? Your body is going to get used to, just regular squats. You throw a different stimulus in there, body's like, oh my God, what is this? And you might be more sore that next day because your body has to adapt to that change of the rep.
So where does that go wrong?
It goes wrong if you do it all the time. Right? So, or if you do it in a part
listen up, trainers. Listen up.
Or if you do it in a part of the rep where it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to give an example, and I think Devan brought this example up on a previous trainer talk about bicep curls and about pauses. So I'm going to give you a real-time example. So I'm lifting 25 pounds for curls, right? I got 125 pound in my hand, and I'm going for 10 reps, right? If a trainer walks to me and by rep 5 they tell me to hold, right, for 5 seconds every hold, but I still have reps left in the muscle, right? Why would I do that, right? So rep manipulation, all these aren't created equally, okay? So isometric holds in general, you want to do towards the end when, because the isometric is the strongest part of the rep, right? And you don't have any reps left, then I throw isometric hold at the end. I really tax the muscle, and then it's done. Or if you do isometric holds all the time, right? So every exercise you don't want to hold on to, right? You want to work through the full range because, again, a muscle can only get stronger and bigger if it works through the negative and the positive. The isometric is a part of it, but don't do those all the time. So that's
you can even throw what you're talking about up front in an exercise as a pre-fatigue, and you can have some type of rep manipulation. Let's just keep it on isometric hold. So you might be asked to hold 30 seconds first and then do your reps, and that's called a pre-fatigue. And there's a lot of different ways to do pre-fatigue.
So many
ways, but that's just one of them. That's probably not like a very common way. Usually a common way to do a pre-fatigue is to, like, let's say you're doing a back squat, to do 30 jump squats right before you go. A lot of body weight right before you go into that load that you're trying to lift for however many reps. So this is all the stuff that goes on inside Matt's head, my head, as we're programming, as we're thinking about engineering the fitness product for you. And that's a really great question, and I hope that you got your answer. Okay, question number 2 comes from Maggie Pell.
Maggie.
How to get that first unassisted pull-up. Ooh, this is a great one. Isaiah, we were in Utah, and I did a video with and I was teaching one of our trainers how to do the strength and conditioning assessment, the SAC, which is the physical test that we make all of our trainers go through. I want to link that here right in this video because that is like a full real live explanation of what we did real time, and it's going to be the same exact description that we're going to have right now, and hopefully you can hear it there, see it there, and it's visual as well. But let's start by talking about time under tension. Right? Time under tension, isolation, isometrics, right? It's the most powerful position that you could hold. So if you're trying to do unassisted, like your first unassisted pull-up, the number one thing that you can do is without bands, if you're able to, without a box, if you're able to suspend yourself with your chin over the bar and not touch it, holding yourself up is going to be in the strongest posture that you have in that entire movement. And I want you to create your strength from there. And I don't even want you to try to do a rep. I want you to hold it on the bar, hold your chin over the bar, tuck your elbows into your back pocket, and hold for as long as you can, and then let go slowly out of the rep into a 3 to 5 second negative. That's one rep. And then you shake it out, you go back up, you isolate at the top again, squeeze the back, elbows into the pocket, hold it up. You're gonna shake, shake, shake. If you're shaking like this, you know that the central nervous system is activated and you're stimulating the muscles you need to stimulate. 3 to 5 seconds on a negative, that's 2. Do 5 reps every day that your back is not sore. Like if you're feeling physically sore, don't do it, but every day your back is not sore and you're trying to get to that first unassisted pull-up, to me, that is the fastest way practically that I've had people do it. And from there's so many variations in between that can help us get up there and do those reps.
What helped me was sometimes just losing a couple pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, like the less weight you got to pull up, the better. So maybe just getting a little bit better shape, that could help as well.
Yeah, and we start with sugar, we start with alcohol, and see what would happen to 2 or 3 or 4 pounds in your pull-ups. To Matt's point, is incredible. Yes. Because you might be already there without 3 or 4 pounds extra of body mass on you. So to be able to reduce your sugar, let's just say you're somebody that, like the average American, is probably eating 100 grams of sugar a day, maybe a little bit more, 150 grams. If you're at 25 grams or below of added sugar in a day, watch the body, and you've never done that before, watch body fat just start to fall off. Or if you have done what we've talked about in the past and had that rhythm of drinking where every single night you have a little bit, right? That's going to, people far underestimate how much that impedes your gains, your recovery, your ability to build muscle, your ability to process your macronutrients appropriately and store in the muscle belly. So yeah, to me, that is the most important thing is it's A, like train the muscle to be able to stay up there, but then B, give yourself less resistance in downward force and gravity.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Matt, number 3.
What we got?
What are the benefits of the cold plunge tub? I'm going to go to Chat GPT for this one. I'm going to let you answer this one.
Oh, man.
I'm going to go to Chat GPT to tell us what the benefits of.
So this person asks, I see people do it for sports, but what are the benefits for someone who works out frequently? So just the average Joe, just the average Jane. I got to be honest, I haven't done this, but I have seen like Joe Rogan do this a lot. There's this one guy who's really famous for this, that he does this like every day, and he swears by it. The benefits I see is just...
Who is that?
He has like a beard.
He's like in the mountains somewhere in Europe?
Yeah.
Oh, the wolf.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
That guy is like, he's like the number one.
What's his name?
Use this thing.
Okay. I will. I'll use this thing.
But this guy swears by it. So just from a physiological standpoint, what I can gather about just being a cold plunge tub is just the reduction in inflammation you get post-workout. So if you work out really, really hard and you put your body... Actually, I did this in college, especially for my legs because I was a soccer player. If you go right after a training session into a cold plunge tub, it will help reduce the inflammation and help you recover a little bit better for your muscles for your next workout. So reduction in inflammation is I think the main benefit for it, but I think what Devan's looking at.
Wim Hof, that's his
that
name.
guy.
Wim Hof.
Yep.
The Iceman, they call him.
The Iceman.
He basically sits in like the world's coldest bodies of water.
Yeah, this guy, he swears
intense.
by it. But
he does like a whole bunch of like retreats and stuff where you can go learn how to do this. I don't do immersion.
Neither do I.
Because I heard Huberman say this one time. So Dr. Andrew Huberman, he is really smart. There's instances where he overspeaks and doesn't say the right things, and you can like fact check him. For the most part, like this guy's like a genius, and he does a lot of the big podcasts, and he's I think a professor of biology and neurology at Stanford, right? And so anyways, he said, when I was listening to one of his podcasts, he said that for somebody who is trying to, like a regular fitness enthusiast who's trying to gain muscle mass, to not do cold tub immersion as within, I think he said 2 hours after post-workout.
I listened to that one too.
But do it for recovery purposes, like 12 hours later in between, so that then you can flush your lactic acid out. And that's it, because you restrict the muscles, and then when you restrict the arteries and veins, and when the blood opens back up and runs through it, it tends to carry out the rest of that leftover lactic acid.
So I wonder, I think on that same podcast, maybe, I know you have this at your house, but so maybe going to your red light sauna thing post-workout, does that get more blood flow?
Well, I don't know about that. We can put that on a topic for later. Does the infrared sauna help, hurt, or indifferent to gaining muscle mass gaining muscle mass post-workout? But I don't do immersion. I just jump in the lake or the pool at my house because it's cold as hell and it's really hard mentally, right? So like to me,
that's why that wolf guy does it too.
Yeah, like to me, in the San Francisco Giants, we did hot tub, cold tub, hot tub, cold tub. We did 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5 out. And they had a whole bunch of science around it. I personally never felt the effects of it, right? So to me, it's a hard thing for me to spend like an hour every day doing it when I've done that for an extended period of time in the past, and it didn't move the needle too much for me. That's just my personal experience. But what has moved the needle is consistently, almost every day. I don't do it every day. It's either a cold shower, like the first part of my shower is super cold for a minute. I'm jumping in the lake when it's cold, or I'm jumping in my pool when it's cold. And I probably do that realistically like maybe half the days.
Yeah.
And for me, it just gives me this mental edge to where I know my competitors in business, or the people that, I admire and respect and want to be like, I know they're not doing that, right? I know that they're not waking up at 4:30. I know they're not jumping in a cold lake at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Little mental edge.
And I know that it's hard to do, so people aren't going to do it. So to me, it's like I have two people with me. I got like my ego, and then I have like my conscience, and like this one always needs to beat this one. And this one says, hey, you're good enough where you are and you've accomplished everything you need to accomplish. This one says, no, me and you, we're jumping in that water and there's nothing you can do about it. And we jump in the water, and my kids like to watch it, and they get all fired up when I do it.
How long do you usually stay in there?
Oh, not long at all.
Like
I jump
2?
in and go out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it doesn't take very long to.
no, because to me it's just about doing it.
Yeah.
It's not about like, I think the effects of it are largely overstated of like cold tub therapy. So,
Hey, placebo effect is strong. When I first started training downstairs, we had a 7:30 camp, and I wouldn't get home till like 8:30, 8:45, and I had to make dinner. But I had to take a shower. I wasn't gonna go to bed all sweaty, so I would take a cold shower because I found that it helped me sleep a little bit better. Placebo effect or not, it worked for me. So.
do you know that song by Wiz Khalifa? Goes, this moment we own it. Stop.
Isaiah does.
It's
Oh,
on
yeah, I know
Fast
that.
and Furious.
Yeah.
I play that song for 1 minute because it's like,
Oh,
in
then you're
this
out?
moment we own it, and that's my one. But I don't do that unless I'm in the shower.
Okay.
So, and I'm sitting there like freezing cold in the shower.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, you're an idiot. Part of me is like, you're a badass. This is awesome. And part of me is like singing like, this moment we own
Depending
it.
on how cold it is, sometimes if you get past like the first 20 seconds, you're good. But like those 20 seconds sometimes feel like they last like 2 minutes.
Yeah, they do. They feel like forever.
Yeah.
And even like before you jump in, it's like your heart drops, your heart rate goes up.
Oh,
it's like
it goes
it's
jacked
an
up.
exciting thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just an exciting thing that you get to do every day. And so I don't do it because of the health benefits necessarily. I do it because of the mental benefits. But let's check Chat GPT and let's see what it says about cold tub immersion. I said, what is the benefits of cold tub immersion for regular fitness enthusiasts? It says, cold tub immersion, also known as cold water therapy, is a popular recovery method that is often used by athletes and fitness enthusiasts. The benefits of cold tub immersion for regular enthusiasts include reducing inflammation and soreness in the muscles, which can help speed up the recovery after the workouts and prevent injury, improving circulation, which can help to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the cold muscles, and promote healing, reduce fatigue, which can help improve athletic performance and reduce risk of overtraining, boost the immune system, which can help reduce the risk of illness and infection, promote relaxation and reduce stress. Overall, cold tub immersion can be a useful tool for regular fitness enthusiasts who are looking to improve their performance, speed up recovery, and maintain good health. However, it's important to consult with a healthcare professional or a trainer before using a cold tub to ensure that it's safe and appropriate for you. The only thing this doesn't solve for me, because I believe all those things, is at what period of time is immersion?
Yep.
And at what length do these different benefits start to onset?
That and how cold does it have to be?
And how cold does it have to be?
Like that's a big, like you got to know that.
Okay. Well, let's keep the cold tub talk going for a while because it's something I'm interested in learning more about. My perspective is that the science is overstated, but clearly there is science to it. There is benefits to it. I know there's mental benefits to it.
Yep.
So let's work our way into a recommendation over time. Okay. What's number 3 here, Matt?
As you age, does your protein intake need to change too?
All right, 3, 2, 1. Yes.
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 Yes, yes, yes. And again, Devin asked me this
Let's
question.
try that again. 3, 2, 1. Yes.
Yes.
Wait, that still wasn't on point.
All right. 1,
3, 2, 1.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
It does. Okay, it does.
Yeah. So Devin asked me this
If
before
you're older, you need more
he
protein.
used his
It's
tool.
not age discrimination.
Yeah.
It's just science. Go ahead, Matt.
I think naturally, again, just from what I've seen, as you age, you tend to eat less, right? And then as you eat less, you're going to have less muscle mass. And as you age, you really don't want to break bones. You really want to stay strong. So in my head, I would feel like your protein intake needs to slightly increase, right, as you get older. So you keep your muscle mass, you stay healthy. I've seen so many stories, and I've heard so many stories of an old person breaking a big bone in their body, and like, that's the end of it. Like, if you get to 70, 80, and you haven't been keeping your protein intake up, and you break a hip, like, you might pass like soon after that. So if you can keep your protein intake up, you'll have less chance of injury. You'll live a longer, healthier life in your older age. That's just what I've.
And lifting plus protein intake creates bone density and muscle mass, which creates posture, right? So how many older people, and we're all going to 0, by the way, everyone. Yeah. Like, let's not like shy away from that. We're all going to the 6 feet, right? So we need to make sure that we are building our bodies now for the legacy that we want to leave when we're 80 as to what type of interaction with our family that we're able to have from age 80 to 85, right? You want that to be a fruitful vision. You want that interaction to be one where you're mobile and not in a wheelchair and able to move your body, right, the way that the way that it can move. And we do that by getting that protein up over time. As you get older, you start to atrophy. So you hit a certain age, and although the age for a long time was understated, now it's empirically proven that you will atrophy at a certain age, no matter what. Like there's a certain age where everybody starts to atrophy. It was thought to be a much younger time in the human life cycle until we started figuring out more about science and more about how the body can react to stimulus, to training, to macronutrients, to recovery. And we actually don't automatically atrophy with no hope for the future in terms of hypertrophy, building more muscle. You can create hypertrophy, you can manifest more muscle mass no matter what age, right? It slows the ability to maximize and optimize that same time, energy, and effort slows, but that doesn't mean it gets eliminated. And so we need to have a hope of the future that, you know, when we get to a certain age, that our bone mass, our bone muscle mass and bone density creates a posture, right, that although will atrophy, that we can combat with hard work over time. And it has to start now. And so yes, protein intake needs to change as your body's ability to synthesize protein gets, that it dwindles. All right? You want to go to ChatGPT, Matt?
Yeah, let's see what it has to say. I'm interested with this because I'm getting older.
What, as you age, does your protein intake need to change too? Okay. As you age, does your protein intake need to change too? As you age, your protein requirements, as you age, your protein requirements may change. However, the specific amount of protein that you will need depends on a variety of factors such as your gender, your body composition, activity level, overall health. Okay. In general, older adults tend to need more protein than younger adults because their bodies may have a harder time synthesizing and using protein effectively. However, it is important to note that protein needs can vary widely among individuals, and it is always a good idea to consult with a healthcare professional or registered dietitian to determine your specific protein requirements. They can help you create a balanced, healthy diet that meets your individual needs. So, you guys are all following the advice of ChatGPT and hanging out with us. And we are the trainers that can say you need more protein as your body and your age gets older.
Yep. All right, last one.
Last one, let's go.
How do I make the most of my focus meetings? Very good question. Do you want me to go first? You
go first. I had something just popped into my head, but I'm gonna let you go first.
I think the biggest word that pops in my head is being brutally honest. Not only with the trainer, but with yourself. So from my experience, if someone's sitting across from me and I ask them about their habits and then they tell me their goals and they don't match up, they're not getting the most out of their focus meeting because I know they're not going to get to the results. So the biggest piece of advice I'd give to you is, first of all, do the goals that you have match up with the habits you currently have? And if those things aren't synchronized, there's no way you're going to get to those goals. And then are you really being honest with yourself about these goals? Are these really attainable? Are they measurable? Do you have a game plan with your trainer to get to them? So those are the two biggest things. Be honest with your trainer, but be honest with yourself first and make sure your habits line up with your goals.
That's great. And I'll compound your answer and add on to that and say that this industry in general overcomplicates almost everything. And and it's almost like we have to, because it's so simple, right? Because the tenets of fitness are so simple that not everyone can say the same thing. So then people have derivatives of derivatives of derivatives and then a derivation of that derivative. And now all of a sudden you're talking about protein in like some really obscure, radical, not well followed, opinionation. And people listen. And so it's just really confusing as professionals. Things like even ChatGPT says, hey, go find a trainer, and they'll tell you, well, then you go find a trainer. And it's like, well, I got this same question and I got 13,000 different trainers telling me something different, and most of them I don't even understand. At Burn, we don't want to show you how smart we are. We want to show you how much we care about you. And I think the way that you do that is showing us that you really care about this, showing up to focus meetings, being honest, like Matt said, but then keeping it simple, right? To me, your performance score should be how many camps did I say that I was going to attend versus how many did I actually attend? because all of the things that will happen from a magical chemical perspective in your body, right, will be initiated on movement. When you move your body, it spikes your physiology. Your physiology is connected to your psychology. Think about that. Your physiology is always connected to your psychology. You don't need to intend to create a mind-body experience. The mind is the body, and the body is the mind. And the body is nothing but a recording or a repeat of the conditioned habits that the mind had thought up and then put into action, which is why it's also hard to really change a habit, because you're conditioned to do it over and over like a tape recording unless you pause it, break the pattern, which is focus meeting number 1, and say, what the heck am I doing this for and why? And that's the first question we always ask you when we sit down in a focus meeting. And so for me, it's honest. Have an honest answer to that. When somebody asks you your vision and why, tell them. Our job is to sit back and listen as trainers for the first 14 minutes to let you get all of that stuff off of your chest, because think of, and Matt knows this, our trainers know this, and you know this. How many times have you really been asked in a genuine sense what you really are here on this planet for? What is your vision for your life and your family? What is that and why is that? And the answer to that question is, of how many people get asked that question, is almost zero. And the amount of discouragement that goes on in the four walls of the average American's household is quite honestly very sad. And it's how sad it is overwhelming to a lot of people. I have an experience that is very unique because I get to travel and see hundreds and hundreds of gyms and thousands of people from all different areas of life. And the common denominator is that there is a encouragement epidemic in the household in this country. People are not encouraged to go chase their dreams or talk about their visions because not of any malice, actually out of the love that their parents usually have for them and the protection that comes from that love. If I love you so much that it hurts you and it hurts me when you fail, then I'm going to go out of my way to discourage you from doing things that might put you in a precarious situation in which you are likely to fail. But then on the other side, the only way you make something of yourself and the only way that you state your claim in this world is if you have a unique individual dream and goal and identity for yourself. That is unlikely, because if it's unlikely, that means that it's unique. And when you bring forth what's unique about you and what's different and what's weird about you, well, now then you have an opportunity to actually go chase those dreams. And so there's this interesting dynamic in the households that I've seen as I travel. And you want to get to a focus meeting so that somebody can ask you that question, so that you can be honest about the answer and relay to them all of the incredible things that you've been thinking and that you want to do with your life, that you can relay that to your trainers with no judgment and with ultimate encouragement. And that's what I promise you when you sit down with any of us at Burn Boot Camp, that's the experience you're going to get. And then from there, this is more for trainers. It's like we can't follow suit in the industry and we can't overcomplicate things, because if we try to overcomplicate, then what we're trying to actually do is teach other people what we know. That's synonymous with a fixed mindset. When you listen to other people and you deem their goals and interests more interesting than your own goals and interests, then you have a growth mindset. And so by teaching everyone everything you know, you're going to fix yourself and you're going to create a glass ceiling. By opening up and not trying to solve everybody's problems, you will become super interesting because you find other people interesting. And so that's what you'll get. And so don't try to teach everyone everything. Just keep it simple, because we know the mind-body connection is already there. When we ignite physiology, it's associated with psychology, and we can start to actually change some of those habits if we just have simple goals that we can hold ourselves accountable to. And the first one is, how many camps are you going to show up to? You tell me, based on the mission that you just told me that you have for your life and the vision that you have. All right, use this camp, use this workout as a tool to get there. Anchor this down, make this a non-negotiable in your life, where everything else in your life is surrounding taking care of you, yourself, your body, your mind, your habits, your rituals, your family ultimately. And then from there, we'll keep track of that one simple thing. Did you come 5 times or did you not? Right? And that is a reason that you should go to a focus meeting, so that you have all of those things: encouragement, honesty, and simplicity.
Yep. Great.
Cool?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. Hey, that's a good time to go out on this one. This is, we got to remind everybody.
Let's do it.
This is like, because we have all these questions here, we still have a whole nother section. So this is like a little phase 2. We're just going to string these 3 together because, you know what, quite honestly, I don't want to do change of clothes. And it's about to be Christmas. And you know what, I want to take 10 days off, maybe 7, maybe 5. I don't know, 5 to 10 somewhere. I'll decide here in the next week. I want to take some days off. So we're going to batch shoot all these things together.
Do it.
We're going to bring them to you so that you have good stuff over the holidays. There's one more phase coming. Stay tuned for that, guys. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Matt, take us out.
2 claps on 2. 1, 2.